The boy stands at the edge of the world, his breath curling like smoke into the cold air. Snowflakes fall around him, each one a tiny miracle he has never seen before. He holds out his hand, catching one on his palm, and watches it melt into nothingness. For the first time in his life, he feels something real, something sharp and alive, and it terrifies him. This is The Giver, the story of Jonas, who lived in a place where pain was erased, but so was joy. In this world, there are no colors. No reds or blues or greens to paint the landscape with meaning. Everything exists in shades of gray, muted and safe. Even emotions have been scrubbed clean, tucked away behind walls of sameness. Families gather for meals, but they don't laugh or cry. They exchange polite words about their days, their voices flat as stones skipping across still water. It's a perfect society, at least, that's what everyone believes. Jonas lives here, among these people who smile without feeling, who nod without questioning. At 12 years old, he sits in the grand hall with hundreds of others, waiting for his assignment, the job that will define his life. His friends chatter nervously beside him, but Jonas stays quiet. There's an ache in his chest, though he can't name it yet. A restlessness. Something tugging at the edges of his mind, whispering that something isn't right. When his name is called, everything changes. The chief elder pauses longer than usual before speaking, her voice slow and deliberate. "Jonas," she says, "you have been selected to become the receiver of memory." The room falls silent. No one knows exactly what this means, not even Jonas, but the weight of it settles over him like a heavy cloak. As he walks to the stage, he notices how the faces around him seem distant, blurred, as if they're already fading from memory. His training begins with the old man known only as the Giver. Their sessions take place in a dimly lit room filled with books and artifacts from another time. On the first day, the Giver places his hands on Jonas's back, and suddenly, Jonas sees sunlight streaming through golden leaves. He feels warmth spreading through his body, a sensation so foreign it makes his heart race. Then comes the color, rich, vibrant yellow bursting into existence like a flame igniting in the dark. For the first time, Jonas understands what's missing from his world, and why. But memory is not just beauty, it is also pain. In the days that follow, the Giver shares more with Jonas: war, hunger, loss. One session leaves him trembling on the floor, clutching his knees as he relives the agony of soldiers dying in battle. Another fills him with unbearable sadness as he witnesses a child crying alone in the rain. Each memory carves deeper into Jonas, shaping him, breaking him open until he can no longer see his world the same way. The sterile perfection of his community now feels hollow, a lie built on stolen truths. At home, Jonas struggles to act normal. He watches his family perform their nightly ritual of sharing feelings, but their words sound empty to him now. They talk about frustration over minor inconveniences, satisfaction from completing tasks. None of it touches the depths of what Jonas carries inside. When his father mentions releasing a newborn twin, Jonas freezes. He knows now what release truly means: death, disguised as kindness. The knowledge burns in his gut, acidic and raw. He begins to notice things he never did before. The way his friends laugh mechanically during recreation hours, their movements robotic. The way the elders watch everyone closely, ensuring no one strays too far from the rules. And most painfully, the way Fiona, his closest friend, looks at him with eyes that will never truly see. She cares for him, yes, but her love is shallow, unformed, a shadow of what love could be. Jonas wants to scream at her, to shake her awake, but he knows she wouldn't understand. She's part of the system, just like everyone else. One night, unable to sleep, Jonas sneaks into the Giver's quarters. "Why do you stay here?" he asks, his voice cracking under the weight of his anger. "You know the truth. You could leave." The Giver sighs, his face lined with decades of burden. "And go where? The memories must stay. If I leave, they'll flood back into the world uncontrollably. People aren't ready for them." "But we're lying to ourselves," Jonas shouts. "We're living half-lives." "I know," the Giver replies softly, "but someone has to hold the weight. Someone has to remember." That conversation plants a seed in Jonas's mind, a dangerous idea. What if he could change things? What if he could give the memories back, let them flow freely once more? The thought terrifies him, but it also excites him. For the first time, he feels alive in a way that goes beyond the fleeting sensations of sunlight or snow. He feels purpose. The plan forms slowly, piece by piece. The giver agrees to help, though his expression is heavy with sorrow. Together, they decide that Jonas will escape, crossing the boundary of their controlled world and releasing the memories into the wild. It's a desperate gamble, one that could destroy both of them. But staying would mean accepting the emptiness forever, and Jonas can't do that anymore. On the night of his escape, Jonas steals food and supplies, his hands shaking as he packs. He thinks of Fiona, of his parents, of all the people he loves but cannot save. He writes a note explaining his decision, knowing they won't understand. Then, with the infant Gabriel cradled in his arms, the same baby marked for release, he steps into the unknown. The journey is brutal. Hunger gnaws at his stomach, and exhaustion drags at his limbs. But worse than the physical toll is the loneliness. Every step takes him further from everything familiar, every mile stretches the distance between him and the people he left behind. Yet with each passing moment, he feels the memories stirring within him, growing stronger. Colors bleed into the horizon, sounds grow richer, scents fill the air. The world is waking up, and Jonas is its reluctant savior. Finally, after what feels like an eternity, he reaches the edge. A steep cliff overlooks a vast expanse of wilderness, untouched and untamed. Beyond it lies freedom or death. Jonas doesn't hesitate. Clutching Gabriel tightly, he leaps forward, letting the wind carry them into the unknown. As the screen fades to black, the audience is left breathless, unsure whether Jonas survives. But one thing is certain, the memories are free now, spilling into the world like rivers breaking through dams. Somewhere, someone will feel again. Someone will live fully, messily, beautifully. And maybe, just maybe, that will be enough. The cold bites at his skin as Jonas stumbles forward, his legs trembling beneath him. Gabriel clings to his chest, small fists gripping the fabric of his tunic. The weight of the child is almost unbearable, but Jonas refuses to let go. He can't. Not now. Not when every step feels like it might be his last. The memories surge through him in waves, fire and ice, laughter and tears, love and loss, all colliding inside his mind until he doesn't know where he ends and they begin. Behind him, the sterile world he left fades into a blur of gray. Ahead lies only wilderness, untouched and untamed. Trees tower above him, their branches clawing at the sky. The ground beneath his feet is uneven, littered with rocks and roots that threaten to trip him at every turn. But there's something else here too, something alive. Birds call out to each other from hidden perches, their songs piercing the silence. A stream gurgles nearby, its water shimmering under the pale light of dawn. For the first time, Jonas understands what it means to truly see. He stops for a moment, sinking to his knees beside the stream. His reflection stares back at him, gaunt and hollow-eyed, but there's a fire in his gaze that wasn't there before. He cups his hands, scooping up the icy water and letting it spill over his face. It's painful, shocking, but also exhilarating. Every sensation feels amplified, as if his body is waking up after years of sleep. Even the ache in his muscles seems alive somehow, proof that he's still fighting, still moving forward. Gabriel stirs against him, whimpering softly. Jonas presses the baby closer, shielding him from the biting wind. "It's okay," he murmurs, though he isn't sure who he's trying to comfort more, Gabriel or himself. "We're going to make it." But doubt gnaws at the edges of his resolve. What if this was all for nothing? What if the memories don't take root outside the boundaries of his old world? What if he's led them both to their deaths for a dream that will never come true? The questions swirl in his mind, dark and relentless, but he pushes them aside. There's no room for fear now. Only action. Hours pass, or maybe days, he loses track. Time becomes meaningless when survival is the only thing that matters. Hunger claws at his stomach, and exhaustion drags at his limbs, but he keeps going. Each step takes him farther away from the life he knew and deeper into the unknown. And with every step, the memories grow stronger, flooding his senses until he can barely breathe. He sees flashes of things he's never experienced: a wedding ceremony bathed in golden light, the sound of children laughing on a sun-drenched beach, the taste of fresh strawberries bursting on his tongue. These moments are fleeting, fragments of lives lived long ago, but they feel real. More real than anything he's ever known. They fill him with a longing so intense it brings tears to his eyes. He wants to hold on to them, to keep them safe, but they slip through his fingers like sand. And then there's the pain, the sharp, searing agony of war, the suffocating grief of losing someone you love, the raw despair of knowing you'll never be whole again. These memories hit him like punches, knocking the air from his lungs and leaving him gasping on the ground. He screams into the emptiness, his voice swallowed by the vastness around him. No one hears him. No one comes to help. He is utterly alone. Yet even in the depths of his suffering, there's a strange kind of beauty. The memories remind him of what it means to be human, not just the joy, but the sorrow too. They teach him that life is messy and unpredictable, full of contradictions and complexities. And they give him strength, because now he knows why he's doing this. Now he understands the cost of a world without pain, and why it's worth paying. As night falls, Jonas finds shelter beneath the sprawling branches of an ancient tree. He wraps Gabriel tightly in his coat and holds him close, rocking gently as the baby drifts off to sleep. The stars above glitter like diamonds scattered across velvet, their light cold but comforting. Somewhere in the distance, a wolf howls, its mournful cry echoing through the forest. Jonas shivers, not from the cold, but from the realization that he's completely at the mercy of this wild, untamed world. For a moment, he allows himself to imagine what it would be like to turn back. To return to the safety of his community, where everything is predictable and controlled. Where he wouldn't have to carry the burden of memory alone. The thought is tempting, almost seductive, but he shakes it off. That world is gone for him now. He could never unsee what he's seen, never unfeel what he's felt. The choice was made the moment he stepped over the boundary, and there's no going back. Instead, he looks down at Gabriel, whose tiny chest rises and falls with each breath. The baby is warm against him, a fragile reminder of hope in a world that often feels hopeless. Jonas brushes a stray lock of hair from Gabriel's forehead, marveling at how soft it is. In that moment, he makes a silent promise. Whatever happens next, he'll protect this child. He'll give him a chance to live in a world where he can choose for himself, to feel deeply, to love fiercely, to experience everything life has to offer, both good and bad. When morning comes, the landscape changes. The trees thin out, giving way to rolling hills covered in tall grass. In the distance, Jonas spots something that makes his heart leap. A house. Smoke curls lazily from its chimney, rising into the crisp air. For a moment, he wonders if he's imagining it, a mirage born of desperation. But as he gets closer, the details sharpen. The weathered wood of the walls, the red shutters framing the windows, the garden bursting with vegetables and flowers. It's real. His steps falter, uncertainty rooting him to the spot. Who lives there? Are they friendly, or will they turn him away? Or worse, report him to the authorities? He glances down at Gabriel, whose wide eyes mirror his own fear. Taking a deep breath, Jonas forces himself to move forward. He has no other choice. The door creaks open before he can knock, revealing a woman with silver-streaked hair and kind eyes. She looks at him curiously, then her gaze shifts to Gabriel. Her expression softens instantly. "You look like you've been through hell," she says, stepping aside to let them in. Inside, the house is warm and inviting, filled with the scent of freshly baked bread. Jonas sinks into a chair by the fire, cradling Gabriel protectively. The woman brings them food, thick slices of bread slathered with butter, steaming bowls of soup, and watches silently as they eat. When they're done, she sits across from him, studying his face. "Where did you come from?" she asks finally. Jonas hesitates, unsure how much to tell her. But something about her presence puts him at ease, as if she already knows the answer. Slowly, haltingly, he begins to speak. He tells her about the community, about the sameness, about the memories, about the escape. As he talks, tears stream down his face, but he doesn't stop. For the first time, he's telling his story, not just living it. When he finishes, the woman nods slowly. "I thought I recognized the signs," she says. "We've been waiting for someone like you." "Waiting?" Jonas echoes, confusion flickering in his eyes. She smiles faintly. "There are others out here beyond the boundaries. People who remember. People who believe in choice. You're not alone anymore." The words hit him like a thunderclap, sending shockwaves through his entire being. Others. Freedom. Hope flares within him, bright and fierce, chasing away the shadows that have haunted him for so long. Maybe the journey wasn't in vain after all. Maybe the memories will take root. Maybe someone, somewhere, will feel again. Outside, the sun breaks through the clouds, casting golden light over the hills. Jonas looks out the window, holding Gabriel close. For the first time in what feels like forever, he lets himself believe in the possibility of a better world. One where love isn't forbidden, where truth isn't buried, where life is lived fully and freely. Feel like you're meant for more, but don't know how to get there? You're not alone. Every success story starts with doubt and a spark. The Self-Made Millionaire, Zero to Wealth isn't just a book. It's your roadmap to purpose, confidence, and success, built on real lessons from real millionaires. One reader said, "It didn't feel like a book. It felt like my future talking to me." Inside, you'll find the exact mindset and principles used by the world's most successful people. No fluff, just real, life-changing wisdom. Ready to take the first step? Get it 100% free. Just subscribe and comment "book" below.